Good afternoon. This is a quick tutorial on how to utilize the VIO system to evaluate game performance and create player highlights. I will be utilizing a player from the '07 boys ECNL team. This email and login information should be in your inbox. Coach Mark Ewell would have sent you this invitation. For most players, this will be the player's email address. It should not be the parent address. If you're unsure or if you don't think you received an invitation, please contact Coach Mark Ewell and he'll be able to assist you in getting that information. I will be using a player, so the access that you see should be the same as what you see when you log in. Once you've typed in your email address and password and you log in, the system will basically bring up the recordings that you have, any teams that you're part of, and if you're mentioned or selected in other people's videos. In this case, I'm going to use the first game on the list, which is this versus Lone Star 2-2. Once I select that, we're going to talk briefly about the interface. On the upper right hand side, you have a download button where you can download the entire game. You can download the highlights. You can share the game either with a coach, a friend, or family. The number of highlights that are listed right here will show, and then a button to create a new highlight. And in order to create a new highlight, we will walk you through how to use tags and how to create tags. You can utilize the screen that you see in the PC interface, or you can work on the large screen. I suggest that you watch the game initially on the small screen if you're creating highlights. If you're just watching the game initially or just watching the whole game, I would watch it obviously in large screen. You can change the playback speed to go faster or slower in the options menu. Um, Within the screen, you can press play. You can go back and forth on the highlights that are created. It'll give you a timestamp. This timestamp, when it's on the small screen, it is condensed, so it will not break it down into minutes and seconds and hours. It'll actually have a condensed moment. So if you're looking at the 1 hour and 30-minute mark, you're really looking at 90.30. And so, or 90.06. But that's not to confuse you or anything like that. This button of interactive player is likely not going to be available on most games, as this is it goes away after 30 days of the game being on the system. In some systems it's 60 days, but most of the time this will not be available. And you can change the speed, like I said, just like you did in the main screen. You can change the speed here. You can change the settings for the quality, and then you can mute or unmute. The timeline below will basically show you the events that happen, and you can click any of these tags, and it'll bring you to the next available tag that you have. So if you're looking at goals, it'll bring you to the first goal, and then you can basically click on those. The green solid dots are highlights that are being created. So if you want to utilize those to look to see what happens at that moment in time in the game, you can click on that. So in this case, this is a highlight of a goal. Well done by the forward to left foot strike the ball past the goalie. As I mentioned before, two different methods of using the system. One is to create highlights. The other one is to evaluate game performance. So I'm going to show you how to create a highlight or a clip of a good play that you've done. In this case, I'm going to utilize the goalkeeper for MTA on a very good save. So I know that this happened right around the 90th minute. I've watched the game and I've written on a piece of paper what time it happened. So as this, I know this is where the play starts. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to go on the upper right hand side. I'm going to click, create under. It'll bring up the tags. So you can utilize one of the tags here, or if you're creating a highlight for yourself, you can create a new tag. In this case, I'm going to call it James Voino Goalkeeper Highlights, so that I know that whenever I'm making those clips, they're going into that process. Once I click create, I need to then, once I've created that, I now need to select that tag. And once I select that tag, if you look to see, the screen has changed. And now the time of the clip has been created. I can select that this is for my own team or the opposing team, depending on what you're looking. In this case, it's my own team or our own team, because you're the player that's creating the highlight. And then you can type some information, some comments about it. So you could say difficult, oops, over the bar, tap, save. And then you can also select the player. In this case, we're going to tag James Bueno. Now, this time frame right now is pretty long. And so one of the things that happens is you want your clips, your highlight clips, to be about 15 seconds, 20 seconds at most. If you go beyond that, people lose track of who you really are on the field or what you're doing. So in this case, I'm going to move my time frame closer to the 90th minute, and I can just press play and I can see where it starts. So I can utilize this drawing to highlight who I want people to see on the field. So what I want them to do is I want them to realize that I am highlighting a play by the goalkeeper, not what's happening on the other side. Once I've selected a color and I've selected a shape, whether I'm using an arrow or in this case I'm highlighting the player, I click the green check mark. Once you press play and the play happens, great tap over the bar. So now, as you can see, there's a lot of extra time on this clip. So what I want to do is I want to just simply trim it down and then just press play just to make sure that the play happens. Please note that when you create a tag and you add a box or a line, it'll pause so you can see what's happening on the screen, but then it'll resume playing shortly thereafter. So once I've done that, I can just go down and I can say create highlight, and now it tells you that the highlight has been created, and you can see that there's a drawing or a highlight at that point in time. So now if I click on it, it'll basically bring me to that highlight and I'll be able to see what took place in the game. So this is a very quick way to actually utilize the highlight reel to create a reel of good plays that you've made and put them all together under a set of tags. Once you've watched that highlight once, the game will continue. And so now that we are there, we can go back on the system, and I'm going to show you how to download that highlight. So as you can see, the system has created this highlight. It's titled it. There's a drawing in it. It has the name and the time frame and the text. So now what I can do is if I click on this three dots, this box will still be dark because it's basically waiting to render. So after it does, is done rendering, it'll be available to download. So another good save happened here. So I'm going to go back and take a look at it and see off of the corner kick. Again, if I want to create another tag, another highlight, I don't have to create a new tag. I can just, so in this case, I'm going to create the highlight. I can pause the film for a second. I'm going to click again, James Bueno highlight reel. I'm going to press play to see. As you can see, this is a lot longer than it needs to be. So I'm going to trim it down. So now it's closer to the play. We have a good punch on clear and then a good second save. So now that I've gotten to the point where I want the clip to be, I can pause it. Once again, it's about my own team. Good punch save, or you can actually just say punch save and follow up second diving save. Once I do that, once again, I can tag myself in the play. So I'm James Bueno, I can tag myself, and then I can create the highlight. So once the highlight is created, once again, I can go back to the highlights And you can see right here the two highlights are. Once this process has done rendered, I'll show you how to actually save that file and download that file on your system. Another way in which you can utilize Veo is to create video clips that can start communication and discussion on Veo with your teammates. In this case, I am going to utilize the moment in the game to talk about keeping possession of the ball. So again, this is an example that I am creating for you. Does not mean that this is what your coaching staff is asking you to do. You should discuss with him or her what you would like to do. This is simply an example of how to use the tools and utilize the moment to share with your teammates what you see on the field. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I'm trying to keep possession of the ball and I'm a player trying to communicate with my teammates, I'm going to go up to create a clip. I'm going to find the tag that I want to use, in this case, transition into offense. And we're focusing on our own team. Now, as you can see, this clip that is created is 30 seconds long, which is probably longer than what you want it to be. So if I press play, I can see that it's about 20 seconds into this clip. So what I want to do is I want to trim that so that you're not wasting all your time waiting for the clip to start and not sure where that clip really goes. So in this situation, this is where I want it to stop, and I want to use the drawing tools to work on my team communication. So in this case, first of all, I want to highlight in a box right here, and I want to say, first of all, in the comment, I'm going to start by making a statement in terms of what I'm trying to communicate. How can we keep possession of the ball via team shape? Okay, so white box, player hiding behind defender. Then I can use a different color and then talk about, can this defender, so I have the box, now I click on the arrow, can this player give us a deeper option? And can I have this player drop in order to give us coverage in case we lose the ball? Then I'm going to select a different color. Can this player move further out to the line to create space right in the middle for our center mid, who's trying to ask for the ball? And then also, I'm going to, again, switch it to a different color. Can I have this forward right here and then select the arrow? Can they go further to the outside to receive the ball, with our attacking center mid moving further up the field to receive the second pass? So what I'm trying to communicate with my team is that, can we have an option deeper to keep the ball? Can we create more space around the defender so we're not thrown into a crowd? And can we move strategically to be in a position to keep the ball? So now I'm going to communicate this in the box as well, saying, okay, orange, can defenders provide a drop option? Red, can forward and attacking center mid move to open space? Right? So once I do that, I can also tag players that are involved in the play, right? So in this case, can I tag, Sam, and I think this is, we have Sam here in the corner. Do we have Mateo in the back? Do we have Parker throwing the ball? Do we have Noah, that's the forward? Do we have Walford somewhere on the play? And basically what I want to do is I want to tag all the players that are involved to make it easier to understand. So once I click done, as long as this is public, everybody will be able to see my notes. I'm going to press the green arrow to say, yep, that's exactly what I want it to be. And then I'm going to create the highlight. So once I've created that highlight, players can see what is taking place on the field. So if I press play and I go back, I can go back to this highlight again. So we're going into the throw-in. Is basically going to stop and show the drawings on the screen, and then here on the text message, you'll see what I drew. So now the other thing that if someone who is not the person that created this clip can go into these three dots and click reply, and then they can provide a response. Since their name will already be included, you could say something along the lines of, can we wait? Can we take more time on the throw to get players set? Should the goalkeeper communicate with the defenders? Again, just commentary. I just looking at it, I saw that clip and this is what came to mind, and then I click send. So now you'll see that there's a video of the play. There's comment by the person that made the video, and then there's going to be, again, this is not just in the real world. It wouldn't be James W. that responds. It would be a teammate. So this is another way that you can utilize the video. And so just like that, as we kind of go through, you could pause it again if you wanted to, and then on this next throw, you can again have a pause it, create a clip, and then work on the positioning. Topics that you could cover: are you over shifting? Is our body position correct to receive the ball? On punts from the goalkeeper, why is the ball going away from us instead of retaining possession? Those are things that you can create clips and start discussing with other players, how to communicate and how to go through this overall process. Again, you'll want to talk with your coach about what him or her wants you to do in terms of his and hers coaching philosophy. This is just an example on how to create the video. I hope this has been helpful. You can communicate with Mark Ewell and your coach in terms of ways to use the system. And if there's any technical issues or if you would like additional clarification on how to use the system, Coach Ewell has my contact information and he can put you in contact with me to assist you a little bit. Again, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you have a great night. I almost forgot. So once you are done with clips and you're ready, you can download the clip by clicking the three dots, going out and just downloading just that clip. If you click the download up here, it'll download the entire game. If you click on the clip and you click download, it'll download just that highlight. If this is grayed out, make sure that either it is saved, the clip is saved somewhere, it'll say save right next to it, click save, or if it's still rendering, just be patient, click edit, close it, and then it should be available for download. Again, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you're able to utilize the system a lot more going forward. Thank you, and have a good night.